July 23rd, 2020. How's it going, guys? We're at the park. We're getting ready to walk. Looks like we've got a sunshiny day. Take a look. A lot of people here already this morning. About 8:30. Quiet ramp. It's everything good this morning. Birdie tweeted more. This morning. I never seen anybody put a boat over there. How you doing?
Awesome.
Yeah. That's a little bit strange. Hopefully they ain't going turtle hunting. Right. one guy, he went after all the frogs, didn't he?
No, I get.
What are we going to talk about today, guys? You know, watching the news last night made me think of a few more things. Those protesters that have been using fireworks, trying to harm the law enforcement and everything else, I got thinking about a few things. These groups here, some of them that are not good, I get to think they've been practicing a long time. It isn't good. We got a guy down the street in the last 3 years, that's all he's been doing, shooting fireworks off all through the year. Also kind of wondered about that. They throw big parties down there, have like 10 Escalades all parked. I mean, you got a $50,000 house, and you got 10 $100,000 Escalades. That's a little bit strange. I don't know. It's like a party house to me. And then there's another group that sits across the street from him. Also connected, I believe connected with them. They also do a lot of those fireworks. The only reason I brought this up is because they were talking about how they were modifying the fireworks to try to hurt the law enforcement agents and the rest. And if you remember correctly, a while back, somebody detonated, it's almost like a full stick of dynamite in the front of my house. I haven't forgot about that either. I don't forget. So, it was so strong that it shook the house. Some of our pictures on the inside of the house went sideways. So, that's a little bit more than just a baby firework cracker going on. But that's another thing they should be looking at. These groups and individuals that, I mean, this is something that's been going on for a while. For a long while. It's been planned. This isn't something that just they come up with 2 days ago. Then I was looking at that deal. It's just a thing like I was looking last night about that lady lost her life that was pregnant over there. I think it was over by Van Brunt. Somebody shot her there. 7-Eleven Conoco. Huh. Wonder why they're using those locations like that. I mean, seems like they're using those locations to deal. Strange. Remember I said something about this before. Look at the 3 ducks. He's just cruising. Look at him with his. He's just paddling a little bit there. Look at him. Pretty cool. Look. Still one. I think you get over that tank better than not having like a fence around it or something.
I know. Good morning.
Let's talk about a little bit. Get a little up here, a little bit close to me, see if I can hear me. Just a little bit. You know, I learned a lot in the last 11 years here about Kansas City. And it wasn't that I was looking for what I learned, but not all good. I took a tarot card class downtown, kind of down by Westport. Little did I know what I would learn would really shock me about the people and everything else. There's different witchcraft bunches here. Lots of witchcraft bunches here in Kansas City. And what's not tied in between that also connects back in even to some of the churches here in Kansas City. But that ain't what got to me about all this. Like I say, I have my own beliefs, my own thoughts on all this. Was that a lot of the ex-military that was here had went, to the witchcraft, which, the government acknowledged finally as a religion. The problem that I had when I seen all this, and I was amongst some of them when I would go to the tarot card classes and other different events. I mean, there's a deal called Meetup. That is a spider web, a web that intertwines among many groups and organizations. And a lot of it goes very deep. the thing of it is, that's something they need to be looking at. Definitely need to be looking at. But the thing that got to me was these people that had, served their country here, did not care about the country anymore. I was told by a lot of them they were basically waiting for the U.S. to fall. Now there was a guy that ran the group who went by the name of Aaron Wolf. He actually worked for Honeywell. And get this, he was working on particle beams. We'll just go that far with it. And they would sit down there by Westport and they would talk about this stuff. They'd get together in their witchcraft groups and other different things. And I sit there and I listen, because that's what I do. I listen. And they were talking about how they were waiting for the government to fall. Now this was almost about 8-9 years ago. And then they knew a lot of this stuff was coming, but they did nothing about it. Why? Yeah. So you have to understand a few things. He talked actually about an experiment that they did that actually it was in a vacuum, and they were using remote robots and it fell over. And this was this was expensive. We're talking millions of dollars on the line here. But, when you look at all this, who's monitoring these groups, these organizations? I don't know. And like holding companies and stuff like that. Just like last night they had a deal they were showing about Isla Capri that they're going to redo. Somebody bought it from, I think it's up on the East Coast. I just kind of scanned through it just a little bit. Suppose they own several other casinos and dog tracks. But what got my attention was that symbol, that red kind of like circle. That almost looked like a Chinese symbol. And you get to think about the holding companies and stuff, how they were funneling the money for stuff. I don't know. I'd be looking at something like that. If you keep your eyes open, you can see a lot of different things. And then, he got into it with the guy that ran another heavy group by the name of Stinson. And they got into an argument, so then he got kicked out of he wasn't running the show anymore. And they get another gal that worked for, actually she was a union gal, worked up here at the Ford plant to take over. Her name was Lori. And what's interesting about all this is this all intertwines. It's all interconnected. Like Farmer Jones was talking about how all this stuff has been going on. No, they're not stupid. They're definitely not stupid. And their network here is wide and vast, definitely. Something that the government needs to be looking at and watching. They definitely need to be watching. But I was just thinking about that Isla Capri deal. That symbol to me, you look at that red symbol looked like a Chinese symbol. I don't know. Very interesting. Well, like they always said, freedom's not always free. People either have to stand up for their freedom. Now what are we doing here? I guess we'll wait and see. You make it across without getting run over. Interesting. Well, we didn't have nobody bouncing basketballs last night at 47th Street, so it's kind of quiet. Anyway, guys, have a good one.